Hey, good morning, folks. My name is Chris-Beth Cowie, the founder of Empowered for X and the host of BizGrams. I have the privilege of bringing to you dynamic entrepreneurs so that you can learn about their story, be inspired, and be challenged to continue on your entrepreneurial journey. Today, we have Alton Brooks with us today, and he is a money guy talking about stocks and bringing to you courses and accountability around the market. So Alton, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for that, Chris-Beth. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I love the fact that you have a television and radio show for Smart Investing with Alton Brooks Show. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your show?
Yeah, for sure. My show started probably about 4 months ago, or maybe even 5 months ago, back in January, February timeframe. And, part of the reason I have my show is for just pure representation. When you look around, you don't see a lot of, folks that look like us telling us about finances and talking about money and investments and the stock market and even business in particular. So that was one of my reasons for doing that, is to bring representation, but also to bring quality representation too. We want to talk to the CEOs of companies that, are being run, that we have no idea that they're out there. So my show also brings you coast to coast across Canada, CEOs and entrepreneurs and other Black businesses that are doing well that we don't know about, that we can support, and also to encourage and to aspire, other folks that they can also reach their dreams and continue to strive. So that's another reason. Another part of the show is to just bring you straight, direct, good news from the stock market, whether it's the Canadian stock market or Wall Street. We have a lot of folks right now who are very much interested in building their wealth, whether for themselves or their families. We all have smartphones. There's some free trading platforms out there, the Wealth Simples and others of the world. But then the thing is that nobody really knows what to do. And we're doing things and we're just gambling and we're really just not sure. So part of what I do is I bring the experience I have over the last 30 years of being in that investment game to the people, to give them an idea of some of the things that they should look out for, what they should do, and just to help them gain more knowledge.
Hey, that is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you're right. Far too many of us, enter into something like the stocks and use the word gambling. We're guessing, taking a chance, bidding, and not really having systems or the education and knowledge to help us make informed decisions. What would you say is the one takeaway or one important thing people should know about the stock market?
Well, the stock market giveth, the stock market taketh. So the important thing is that when it's taking, which means that when it's going down, don't go down with the ship. You have to set a limit that you're willing to lose, so that if you find yourself in the wrong investment, that you get out and still have most of what you started with. I usually suggest, 10%. If you start losing more than 10% on your trade or your investment, sell it, get out of it, and buy something else. A lot of times, people will wait till they're down 30%. And then they'll say, oh, okay, it'll come back. I have this hope that it's going to recover. And then it goes down to 50%. And then now you're stuck. If you sell, you lose half your money. So it's best to get out early if you're wrong. And then when you're right, don't be afraid that it's going to go down. If it's going up, you ride your stock up. A lot of times we get good stocks, but we sell when it's 10% up, and then it goes up another 70%. But then we get fearful when stock starts going up and doing well for us, but we don't get fearful when it goes down. We get hopeful, but those are inverted. We should start getting scared when it goes down, and we should be hopeful when it's going up, that it continues going up. So a lot of times our psychology plays with us. So you have to understand the difference between hope and fear. Be fearful when you're losing money, not be hopeful it's going to go back up. So you cut your losses and then you make your winners carry you through to make some money.
Hey, I love it. And it's true. The market is about understanding your own psychology around it, but also the market itself has its psychology, right? It's like a wave. It goes up and down, affected by different forces as well. The example that's happened right recently around Coca-Cola and Cristiano Ronaldo, I'll have water, please. And it is powerful, right? And you never know at times. But it is great what you're doing to be that kind of, ally, a mentor, teacher as people are getting into the market so that they get the support and the knowledge that they have as they are building.
For sure. And the
So
important thing too is that the charges that we put the courses out at, it's very minimal, because I understand that a lot of us are starting for the first time, and we may not have a lot of money to actually invest with. So I make sure that the course is subsidized quite probably 90% off in a sense, so anyone can afford to take it.
are there any books or resources that have helped you along your journey that you believe other entrepreneurs, people should be aware of as they're navigating this space?
Well, I have to tell you that, I'm an avid reader. I think I remember even being 3, 4 years old, and I was reading.
That's
Then 10,
awesome.
12, 14. Even now, like, I probably read at least 3, 4 books per day in total, but not really books, but just the amount that I read. So I just tell people, just keep reading. Like, now everything's on the internet. You can find all kinds of books, tips, this and that. Like, I'm reading on the internet every night, probably for an hour or two, just to catch up and seeing what's new, what's out there, what can I use to improve things. But when it comes to stock and investments, there's just so much you can, look at, how to trade, how to make investments. You've got many leaders out there with tremendous books. You got Barack Obama, you got his wife as well. You've got so many that you can think of. But me personally, I don't necessarily just read one particular book. I just get from something what I need to get, then I move on. So I just can probably read through 100 books in a night, but just take a paragraph from each one, you know. But the important thing is just to keep reading. As long as you keep reading, you're going to keep finding those nuggets that's going to improve you and get you to where you need to go.
So Alton, tell us, any final thoughts or advice you have for entrepreneurs out here that, the word is hustling or, doing their thing, making a positive difference. What advice would you share with someone today?
Well, we have this thing that, when we hustle, we have to hustle for hours on end. You finish your day job, then you got to go hustle at night. I don't particularly think that you have to be working that hard, but it's important that you work smart. If you're working by day, make a plan so that whatever you're doing by night can somehow inflect at some point with what you're doing, so that you can decide now you're doing just as much business by day that by night, and you can phase out that day job. But don't get to a point where you feel you have to permanently be working full-time in the day and full-time in the night, because what that does, it just robs you of just enjoying some of what you're doing. You're working so hard, you're doing great, you're making lots of money, but how have you enjoyed that? Have you smelled the roses or the coffee? You know what I mean? Have you taken time to go visit friends that you enjoy, or being around people? Have you taken a vacation? So you got to have that life balance with what you do. So be motivated, but just have a vision of trying to replace what you're doing versus trying to do both permanently for the rest of your life. Because a lot of people get stuck in that, and they find themselves going to bed at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and they've only worked all day long. And they've done that every single day for the last 4 or 5 years and nothing else. So it's important that you have balance. So that's what I would stress for people. Work hard, make a plan of how you plan to go from where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow, but make sure that you save some time for yourself mentally and physically and spiritually.
Hey, that is so powerful. And, as you're talking, I found myself in that same type of paradigm, right? Full-time, 9 to 5. I said I only knew my business in the nighttime, so full-time, and the burnout is real, and you could only sustain that for so long. And when you have that plan, as you talked about it earlier in the interview, and even now, it helps you to really paint a clearer picture of what is possible and the destination that you're moving towards. And you talked about not just hustling, you talked about working smart, right? And so I really want to emphasize that to the viewers today. Consider how you could develop a plan and work smart, work that plan, as you're going through.
That's right. And remember too that, once you make the money work as hard as you earned it to work for it. So don't just put it in the bank, making 1% or nothing on it. Put it to work, because that's what I do. When I hire a stock, as I like to say, it better work for me, because if it's not, I'm going to fire it. So that's how
Okay.
you have to look at your money. It's something to use to work harder for you than you work to get it.
Hey, that is awesome. Thank you so much, Alton. This has been a privilege and pleasure. From our team here at Empowered Facts to your team at Fifth Dimension Trading, I'm sending you out with lots of love and positivity for today and beyond. It has been an absolute pleasure. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be on with you today. Take care.